Law 4. Always say less than necessary. When you are trying to impress people with words, the more you say, the more common you appear, and the less in control. Even if you're saying something banal, it will seem original if you make it vague, open-ended, and sphinx-like. Powerful people impress and intimidate by saying less. The more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish. Power is in many ways a game of appearances. And when you say less than necessary, you inevitably appear greater and more powerful than you are. Your silence will make other people uncomfortable. Humans are machines of interpretation and explanation. They have to know what you are thinking. When you carefully control what you reveal, they cannot pierce your intentions or your meaning. Your short answers and silences will put them on the defensive, and they will jump in, nervously filling the silence with all kinds of comments that will reveal valuable information about them and their weaknesses. They will leave a meeting with you feeling as if they had been robbed, and they will go home and ponder your every word. This extra attention to your brief comments will only add to your power. As a young man, the artist Andy Warhol had the revelation that it was generally impossible to get the people to do what you wanted them to do by taking to them. They would turn against you, subvert your wishes, disobey you out of sheer perversity. He once told a friend, "I learned that you actually have more power when you shut up." In his later life, Warhol employed this strategy with great success. His interviews were exercises in oracular speech. He would say something vague and ambiguous, and the interviewer would twist in circles trying to figure it out, imagining there was something profound behind his often meaningless phrases. Warhol rarely talked about his work. He let others do the interpreting. The less he said about his work, the more people talked about it. And the more they talked, the more valuable his work became. By saying less than necessary, you create the appearance of meaning and power. The less you say, the less risk you run of saying something foolish, even dangerous. In 1825, a new Tsar, Nicholas I, ascended the throne of Russia. A rebellion immediately broke out, led by liberals demanding that the country modernize, that its industries and civil structures catch up with the rest of Europe. Brutally crushing this rebellion, the Decembrist uprising, Nicholas, sentenced one of its leaders, Kondratij Ryliev, to death. On the day of execution, Ryliev stood on the gallows, the noose around his neck. The trapdoor opened, but as Ryliev dangled, the rope broke, dashing him to the ground. At the time, events like this were considered signs of providence or heavenly will, and a man saved from execution this way was usually pardoned. As Ryliev got to his feet, bruised and dirtied, but believing his neck had been saved, he called out to the crowd, "You see, in Russia, they don't know how to do anything properly, not even how to make rope." A messenger immediately went to the Winter Palace with news of the failed hanging. Vexed by this disappointing turnabout, Nicholas, nevertheless, began to sign the pardon, but then asked, "Did Ryliev say anything after this miracle?" The messenger replied, "He said that in Russia they don't even know how to make rope." The Tsar said, "In that case, let us prove the contrary," and he tore up the pardon. The next day, Ryliev was hanged again. This time the rope did not break. So learn this lesson: once the words are out, you cannot take them back. Keep your words under control. Be particularly careful with sarcasm. The momentary satisfaction you gain with your biting words will be outweighed by the price you pay. Intrigued? Check out our previous videos, as this is just one of the 48 powerful 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Like and subscribe, and follow us as we uncover the remaining 48 Laws of Power.